What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Progress, Not Perfection. I'm your host, Jeff Packman, and this week is our second week on YouTube. So even though I have been putting out these episodes on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, I really haven't been putting these episodes out in video format. So if you guys prefer a video long form podcast format, you can always check it out on YouTube. I will leave the link in the description. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Give this a big thumbs up. And if you're listening to this on your podcast platform, make sure you give me a 5-star review. It really does help the podcast reach more people and it helps more people find us. So this week, I want to talk about something in particular that a lot of people struggle with, and it's how I stopped messing up my diet every weekend. This is a huge common theme that I see with new clients when they come in. This is something that I personally have struggled with, and there's a few different tips and tricks that I have for you in this podcast. So make sure you guys stay till the end because I have probably the most important concept at the very end of the episode. Do not fast forward to the episode. Listen to all of them because all of them are going to be helpful and useful tips that you can practice along the way. Okay, so number one, proving to yourself that you can do it. A lot of you guys have never done this. You've never actually gone through an entire weekend where you still track your food, you still log your calories, you still eat your healthy meals. Maybe you have a habit of having a omelet for breakfast that has lots of protein, and then you have some blueberries for fiber, and you have your oatmeal on the side. Whatever it is, whatever kind of healthy breakfast that you have Monday through Friday, you should continue that habit through the weekend. I don't care if you went out drinking Friday night. I don't care if you had a late night Saturday night. Still continue those healthy habits. Maybe you have a habit of going to the gym first thing when you wake up before you go to work during Monday through Friday, or maybe you get a walk in before you go for work. Either way, keep those healthy habits going. Prove to yourself that you can do it, even if it's just one weekend. This upcoming weekend, make that the weekend that you actually handle the weekend like a successful adult who is trying to lose fat and improve their health and fitness. I personally struggled with this really badly. I think it was because I had all these food rules set up for myself back in the day when I was like more of a yo-yo dieter. I would tell myself I can't have carbs, I can't have sugar, I can't have fat, I can't have this, I can't have these foods, I can't have processed foods, I can't have foods that I really enjoy. So what this would do is it would create restriction, and then the weekends would come and it was like I had no rules at all. And sometimes those rules are good to have, but if they're too strict, then as soon as we see something that takes us out of our routine, we go off the rails. So that's tip number one, is just prove to yourself that you can do it for one weekend. It doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It doesn't mean you need to eat all the perfect foods. It just means continuing those healthy habits and practicing to the best of your ability to put it all down in your MyFitnessPal or however you're tracking your food in your app. Number two, having short-term goals instead of long-term goals. Let's say you have a goal right now of losing 35 pounds. And you're like, I want to lose 35 pounds in 6 months. I would classify that as more of a long-term goal because the actions that you take day to day, sometimes you don't connect that with your 6-month goal. If you have a piece of pumpkin pie, I know it's fall time, so if you have a piece of pumpkin pie coming at you, you're not going to be thinking, well, in 6 months, I did want to lose that 35 pounds, so I better say no to this piece of pie. You're not going to think that. You're going to be like, ooh, delicious pie, short-term goals. I don't have any. Long-term goals, I have them, but short-term, my only goal was to X, Y, and Z. So you know what? Pumpkin pie it is because that is delicious and that is more important to me right now in this moment than my goal is 6 months down the road. 6 months, that's so far down the road. I'll have plenty of time to get it done. So we procrastinate our goals and we aim for short-term satisfaction in exchange for long-term dissatisfaction. Whereas we need to flip that switch. We need to look for short-term, basically short-term discipline for long-term fulfillment. So delaying our gratification. In this society, everything is instant gratification. We're always taught to instantly, instantly, instantly. You want a quick fix, you want to lose 30 pounds in 30 days, you want this, you want that, you want it done fast, you want it done now. Cool. Here's how you do it. Here's this hack, here's the secret, here's this tip. The truth is, it takes work and it takes consistency over the long term to reach your goals with anything you want to do. So, this means that you need to play the tape forward. You need to have short-term goals as well as long-term goals. You can still have that 35-pound goal, but you should also have a goal of, hey, you know what? I'm only going to have one dessert this weekend, and I'm going to make sure it's something that I really enjoy, and I'm going to teach you guys how to make sure that your dessert is something you really enjoy later. But I actually ran into that this weekend. I was going to like a friend's house, and what I did personally is he said, "What should we make for dinner?" I said, "Well, I'm gonna make a couscous salad with feta, pickled onions, artichoke hearts, bell peppers, and I'm gonna make this like dressing and toss it all in there." I knew it was like gonna be a pretty low calorie, high nutrient dense side dish. And then he said, "Well, what should we have for the main?" I said, "You should make some skewers, make some chicken skewers." So he marinated some chicken with some vegetables and we grilled those up. We had the couscous on the side. My friend bought pita bread and hummus. All those things are fine. I could track those things accurately, put it on MyFitnessPal, still have a great meal with my friends and enjoy myself. But then my girlfriend, the ultimate diet sabotager, because let me tell you something about my girlfriend. She has a chocolate cabinet in her house. And yeah, if that tells you anything about her. She loves her sweets. She went to Costco. She bought a gigantic pumpkin pie from Costco, okay, and brought it to the house. I told myself, I'm going to have a piece of this pumpkin pie, but it is going to be the thinnest slice of pumpkin pie with the smallest, like half a cup of ice cream. Okay. So what I did is I tracked it in MyFitnessPal. I typed in Costco pumpkin pie and I put in like half a slice of Costco pumpkin pie and I put half a cup of ice cream. And I think that was pretty accurate with how close those calories were. And I tracked everything else to the best of my ability. Okay. Now, so I crushed this weekend. I did really good. And when I woke up and I took my measurements, I took my scale weight this morning, I didn't have any major regrets over the weekend. I didn't have a thought of, oh man, I really wish I would have had 3 pieces of pie and 2 big scoops of ice cream. And I wish I would have had more pita bread and hummus. And I wish I would have had this. I wish I would have had that. No, I didn't have any regrets because I was still able to work the foods that I loved into my diet and track them successfully and not overeat to the point where I feel uncomfortably full, to the point where I woke up this morning and the scale was up 5 or 10 pounds. And I thought to myself, man, I screwed up another weekend. Just prove to yourself that you can do it and have short-term goals that this weekend, this upcoming weekend, is going to be the weekend that you can crush it. I have a road trip coming up and my plan is to stay 80% consistent on this road trip, right? So just have short-term goals and you can still have those long-term goals, but make sure those short-term goals also fit in line with those. This is why with my one-on-one clients, I always have them have a consistency goal, whether that's 60% consistent, 70% consistent, 80% consistent is like the benchmark. If you want the best results possible, 80% consistent is going to be the sweet spot. But if you can just get more consistent than you were the prior weeks, you're going to be more successful with fat loss, and your dieting phase is going to be able to be over with quicker. Because let's face it, being in a calorie deficit sucks, and nobody wants to be in a calorie deficit forever. So get it over with and get this shit done with. If you have 8 weeks, get this shit done in 8 weeks. Stop messing up every 2 weeks. Like, just have short-term goals of this week. I'm going to stay on track no matter what happens in my life, no matter what emergencies come up. My husband is dealing with these health issues. My mom wants me to travel 3 hours to go help her move a couch. My kids are going off to college and I have to go to this dinner event for work and I have this and this. Trust me, I know how busy you guys are and I know how crazy your lives are, but I also know that you can do it because my clients in RFL, my group coaching program, all have crazy busy schedules and lives, but they are still crushing it. Some of them losing 2 or 3 pounds a week. The centimeters around their waist are flying off, and it's all because they have accountability and consistency with their nutrition and their steps and their training, and they know what to do and how to do it. And we go over these issues and we tackle them every single week in the group, and we do our weekly Zoom calls. So the next one we'll be in January. So if you want to get involved in that, you know what? I'll leave a priority list down below. And if you want to sign up for the priority list, that's where I'll send you guys emails when we get closer to January. Number 3, understanding how refeed days work. So speaking of RFL, for all my clients in RFL and all my one-on-one coaching, online coaching clients, what we do is we set up a daily calorie target, which, for example, would be just regular calories. So let's say your calories are at 1600, and I give you your macros, maybe like 150 protein, 180 carbs, 40 fats. Cool. If you don't know what any of that means, don't worry about it. Basically, I'm going to give you a calorie target and a protein target. Cool. That's your nutrition. However you hit that does not matter to me. You could eat kale salads and salmon, or you could eat protein powder and Pop-Tarts. It doesn't freaking matter. It just matters that you hit the numbers. Ideally, yes, you're getting in some fiber, you're getting in some greens and vegetables and fruit. Cool. But if you can hit the numbers, you're going to see results, and that will improve your health. And then later we'll work on the quality of your diet. But if you can hit that 1600, you hit the protein, you hit the steps, you hit the workouts, you're on money. You're dialed in. That shouldn't take that much effort, right? But then the weekend comes. This is where things get challenging. This is where people fall off track. They think that, oh, well, I don't know how to track this burger from Red Robin, so I'm just not going to. Or this burger doesn't have calorie information online, so I'm just not going to track it. That is lazy, and it's honestly just a cop-out, because you know that you could look at this burger and be like, you know what, this probably has similar calories to a burger from TGI Fridays. Look up a burger. It's a bacon cheeseburger with cheddar and some mayo. Cool. Look it up on TGI Fridays website. There you go. Bacon cheeseburger with mayo, or Red Robin. Okay, cool. Maybe you look at the French fries and it looks like about a cup and a half of French fries. Cool. Go on to Five Guys and type in a cup and a half of Five Guys French fries. Put it in MyFitnessPal. You know, it's going to be closer than you just not doing anything and not tracking your calories and having no idea of where those are at, right? And this is what refeed days are for. They're for days where I bump your calories up purposely. So let's say they're at 1600 6 days a week. 1 day per week, I'm going to bump them up to maybe even like 2000, 2100. Give you like a bunch more calories to play with so that you can go and get some food out with your family, give you a little bit of break from the diet, a little bit of mental break from the diet so that you can be more consistent. Now, this isn't so that you can do this on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's 1 day out of the week that you can go and have like a meal that's more flexible, that doesn't have to fit the macros perfectly, right? You can go and have that meal out that you've been craving. For me this week, I went and got an Adobada burrito from this place called Taco Salsa. I went out. A bunch of my friends were going out to eat, and my girlfriend forgot her freaking ID. And so we went to this 24-hour Mexican place and we got burritos. She got a bean and cheese. I got an adobada, and I tracked it. I put in the calories. I knew the calories were probably higher than what I tracked, so I put in an extra 10% on top of that. And guess what? I tracked it, and it was high, but it was my refeed day anyway. So I used that as my refeed day. Sunday I had the skewers, the couscous, the pita, the pumpkin pie, right? And that was all tracked within my calories as well. So this is how you can do it. You can use a refeed day, which is just 1 high calorie day per week. The rest of the days can be much more consistent because now you have something to look forward to help you be more consistent with your week. And I do this for all my one-on-one coaching clients. I do this for all my RFL peeps. So if you guys are looking for more guidance on how to do that, you want somebody to set your calories up, you want somebody to help you with your nutrition so that you can be accountable, so you can lose fat, so that you can get results and stop messing around, stop gaining and losing the same 20 to 25 pounds per year and finally invest in yourself, you can apply for one-on-one coaching down below. I'll be taking on some new clients in October. Number 4, If it is a fuck yes, it's a fuck yes. If it's a fuck no, it's a fuck no. What do I mean by this? Well, I am a lot more picky with the foods that I put in my body because I only have so much budget per day. So the same way that I'm pretty picky about what I spend my money on, I'm pretty picky about what I put in my mouth because Domino's Pizza just doesn't hit the same as Pizza Mondo, my local pizzeria that has like fresh ingredients, not Papa John's, but they have real good dough and they have good toppings and good ingredients. I'd rather get pizza from Pizza Mondo. That's a fuck yes. Whereas pizza from Domino's, if I'm just like at a work party or an event and there's just Domino's pizza or Costco pizza laying around, that's not a fuck yes for me. It's a fuck no. I don't need to have that pizza. I can have the salad, or I can bring a protein bar or whatever. You know, I don't need to eat that pizza. It's not that enjoyable for me to begin with, right? Whereas maybe Little Caesars pizza for you is a fuck yes. Cool. Plan it into your day, have one slice, or plan it into your refeed day and just go for it, right? But know that the rest of the week you need to be pretty dialed with your nutrition. So that's kind of a tool that you can use, right? If that Costco pumpkin pie for me was a fuck yes, it would have been, I would have had 2 slices and a bunch of ice cream. And I would have been like, this was a fuck yes. I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel guilty about it. But it wasn't a fuck yes. It's Costco pumpkin pie. It for some reason it was weird too. It was like more soft and like liquidy than it normally. Anyways, it was kind of gross to be honest. Honestly, didn't even want to finish my little half slice. But that's another example of like if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no. Like use that principle when you're deciding whether things are worth it or not, and you'll be way more successful with fat loss. Okay? So hopefully these tips were helpful for you this weekend. Let it be the weekend that you crush it 100%. Take a refeed day, but the rest of the 6 days need to be tracked. Everything in MyFitnessPal and even the refeed day should be tracked as well. And you will be way more consistent with your nutrition. You'll start to see the scale drop, and you won't wake up next Monday up 5 pounds wondering, oh my God, what did I do wrong? How do I fix this? Right? So, anyways, just some tips for you. Hopefully, you guys found it helpful. And I will speak with you guys next week in another episode. Peace out.